Ai ai ko na kaya o pua I ka lai A o he lua e like ai me o e Ai ai
Aloha mai kākou. My name is Kawika, and this is...
I'm Kamalani.
I'm from the beautiful Pai'aina, Hawaii, or the Hawaiian Islands. I'm from Oahu. My hometown is Waianae.
And I'm from Hilo, so the big island of Hawaii.
We're just casually making some lei, practicing our beautiful culture of lei making. Yeah, we're happy to share it with you.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, making lei, it's in our blood, really. You know, if we use it, it's just something, what we do, it's who we are. Yeah, and it's, even though we're so far away, it's nice that we can still practice our culture. Even though it's not the same flowers, it's still the same techniques, and it still brings the same conversations and the same, yeah, closeness that we have as Hawaiian people. We'll be showing you two styles today. As you can see, I'm just about to thread this needle. It's not a lei making needle, but it's what we got today, and that's what we're doing. And I'll be showing you how to ku'i a lei and kama.
And so I'm making a lei using the bili style. So it's basically you're just laying down the material and you're wrapping it over and over.
Part of the process we're going through right now is just cleaning and sorting and sizing. With lei making or with any weaving pretty much across the Pacific, there's a lot of organization that happens before the actual process, and it's probably one of the most important. Right now, Kama's just prepping her backing to weave the flowers into. I mean,
Either use your mouth or you use your toes. I prefer it this way, just because, first of all, I can't really like extend my leg all the way out and reach there. We're not flexible here, we're not.
In Aotearoa, I mean, just completely different with flowers. And with flowers, in Hawaii we have kinolao. Basically, it's body forms of gods and goddesses and ancestors in flowers. So there's a real familial relationship we have with greenery, with like flora. The important part is really about understanding what it takes to retain culture and what it takes to make fresh lei as an Indigenous person. The effort you must go through to have the knowledge and the skills to make this beautiful natural piece of culture and history and then giving it away. The extreme tourism boost of Hawaii and the Americanization, the militarization, and the kind of tourism industry driven of Hawaii, that's where you see more people who are not from Hawaii wearing more lei or expressing themselves wearing lei. But you would also see lei makers in Hawaii making lei for tourists. So there are some key points that I see that have really changed the culture of lei making, whether it was reciprocity for showing love for somebody or if it was just someone trying to make some money. I enjoy really plain, simple lei. But I do appreciate really, really intensely adorned materials. There are lei competitions that take, I don't know, more than 48 hours just of handwork to make one lei.
These are human-sized versions of these lei, but also we make them for horses. We have a big horse culture at home, so the Paniolo culture. So imagine that around a horse's neck.
The lei, not me. just for reference. There's just so much beauty and it's just like a work of art. And I think for me the most beautiful thing is that it ends up, you know, it dies. So mai is like it wilts. And there's a like beauty in making something so amazing that only lasts for a short period of time. And then it just disappears and goes away, and then you just make another one. Even really simple lei such as this, and it's really, the repetitive process is really calming, and just the togetherness of making lei with someone else is really fantastic. And it's a really good way to kind of, I guess, practice self-care and self-health as well, to kind of calm your brain down. should be organized by now, where you know which flowers you're going to be using and the intention of what the flower is going to look like. You sometimes already have an image of what the lei looks like before you start it. And sometimes creativity strikes you and then it morphs and evolves into something you never knew it was going to be, which is both beautiful processes, and a lot of lei makers use both or multi-process. So from here, you start by taking your string, or the thing that you're going to be weaving the resources with, materials or flowers, fresh flowers in this case, and you're going to want to prepare it so you can measure it. Usually if it's going to go for your head, you're going to measure it around your head with a little bit of a gap. Always go extra, because you can always eliminate, but you can't add. So from there, you're measuring your head, you're measuring your wrist, your ankle, or your neck. So yep, you prep, wrap it around your toe, or hold it in your teeth like Kamalani did. But usually if you have a friend, you can ask them to hold it. From there, you're just going to get to the point right before you put your flowers in or putting your leaves in, and then you're going to start your lei. And it's very important that you're prepped, because it's hard to stop midway of your lei. So you have to make sure you have enough time, or you have enough practice that you can complete your lei within the time you're sitting. Step 3 is possibly one of the more fun parts of lei making, because it's actually adding all the greenery, it's adding the flowers or the resources that you chose, and it's about where the patterns really start to come out. So in some cases you've got ferns and flowers. Some people use a simple resource, a string lei, or you can use up to 10 or 15 different kinds of plants. And it's about creating patterns and imagery within the lei that you're creating the intention for the person you're creating it for. So there are many different kinds of ways. The creativity is endless when you come to making your patterns. What you're looking for is you're wanting to make sure that throughout your lei making process that it's consistent, and you want to double check that the backing or the individual faux that you're working with usually the final step is tying your lei together and appreciating the work that you've done. You've successfully created a beautiful piece of culture, and for me the best part is giving it away to the one you were thinking about the time that you were making this lei. Or you can keep it for yourself and go to the mall and look fantastic. There's some tradition that goes into putting lei on, is that you want to put the flower side going up. In Hawaiian culture, it'd be bad if we turned it the other way, or this way, just because the heart flows going up, and that just adds an extra element to lei making. So for me, living in Aotearoa as a Kanaka or Native Hawaiian person, to work with plants and to work with fresh flowers is really, it's special, and it's a way for me to connect to my environment, but also to realize that I can travel anywhere in the world and still feel connected to my people. For my family, it's important. When I make lei, I think about my mom. So it's a great way to recall memories of people that you might not see every day, or maybe those that have passed. And it's about, oh, I remember when they taught me this technique, or I remember when we used this pattern instead of this pattern. But it's important when you're looking at flowers, it's just a big reminder of where I come from, my family, and why it's important to continue practicing.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.